Okay, lanes 3 through 36. If you can press your check marks, you'll go into tournament play. Again, if you guys are still wanting to get in brackets, they are available up until you throw your first ball. It's behind lanes 3 and 4.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. My name is Emil Williams Jr., courtesy of Bowl-Stream TV. Appreciate you tuning in for the Fairchild Singles Shootout, part of the Bradley Open weekend here in Louisville, Kentucky, live from Executive Strike and Spare. For the first time, get an opportunity, or will be streaming, of course, the Fairchild Singles Shootout. Big thanks to Jason Utchwall having Bowl-Stream TV back. This is my first Bradley Open event, and pretty excited to be here this weekend. We'll have the double shootout, the classic double shootout tonight, and then, of course, the Bradley Open tournament proper will begin tomorrow morning and roll through Sunday afternoon. Guaranteed $10,000 to the Bradley Open champion. Guaranteed $1,000 here for the single shootout. I'll get you some names here in just 1 second, but for the single shootout, 3 games. Top 8 after 3 games. Total pinfall will advance to the 8-player bracket final until we determine a winner. I think, and Jason will confirm this, but maybe one of the highest, if not the highest, turnout for this event so far. somebody that we need. You probably have recognized Ryan Simonelli at this point. Not only bowling, of course, the single shootout. I'll check the roster, but I'm guessing he's probably bowling doubles and certainly bowling the Bradley Open proper. Hello to Bluegrass, Carla, and John. Thanks, John. And, of course, my main man, Daniel Farish. I knew where I was coming, Daniel. We've had a lot of long talks about how to properly pronounce Louisville. On 35 and 36, the right of your screen, Stephen Taylor, Corey Anderson, Jeff Lyons, Ryan Simonelli, and Jonathan Cummins. Specifically, though, Stephen Taylor and Corey Anderson are 35 A and B. Jeff Lyons is actually 36D. Ryan Simonelli is letter C. And Jonathan Cummins is letter E. Then on 33 and 34, the left of your screen, Thomas Wynn and Chris Jowers are on 33 A and B, but they're flip-flopped. So Chris is actually letter A. Thomas Wynn is letter B. And David Brown and Michael Brown are 34 C and D, respectively. That is Chris. Should be a fun weekend, folks. If you wouldn't mind, please hit the thumbs up. And then also share if you haven't already. We would appreciate it. Certainly, Jason Utchwald would appreciate it. Get some more eyes on this event. First time we're streaming it. Normally begin with the double shootout tonight. But want to give an opportunity, certainly, to the Fairchild event. This event recently renamed as well, if you're unfamiliar. It is renamed in the memory of Mike Fairchild, former Bradley Open champion, and a dear friend to Jason and many others in this city and area and associated with the tournament. So $10 from every entry of this particular event, the Fairchild Singles Shootout, will be donated towards aneurysm research. Again, 3 games, modified house. So as you can see, strikes. It's a good way to, at least the way I would look at it, especially if I'm bowling the Bradley, the actual event. It's a good way to kind of get the swing loose, because if you know anything about the Bradley, and most certainly do at this point, but if you don't, it is a very difficult condition. As many would say, right-handers will be throwing it over their left toe. I've already heard talks from some players in the field who are going to be bowling, talking about 180 and 360 grit. Some folks have brought Scotch-Brite pads. So it gets serious to the Bradley. This is a good tune-up, just to perhaps, again, get your swing loose, see the ball enter the 1-2 or the 1-3 the way you'd like, because it probably won't be entering the pocket the way you'd like all that often come Saturday and Sunday. Already seeing a couple of long strings of strikes just across the house to my left. I do know that the final match, the championship match for this particular event, will be on 37 and 38. Qualifying actually ends on 35 and 36. And then there'll be 3 rounds of bracket play. We'll start with the quarterfinals, and we'll try to have at least 1 quarterfinal match, 1 semifinal match, and of course the championship match. Double shootout will begin tonight. Scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you're local, stop on by. If you can't make it, I will be here. Oh, good shot there for Simonelli. Jonathan Cummins trying to keep his streak alive over on 33 and 34. All four players still with some opportunities to get into the 220s, two teams respectively. I would expect to see at least one 300 game within these three qualifying games. That's just me. There are a few high-level amateurs as well as some professionals, of course, including Ryan Simonelli for that matter. 6 in a row for Jonathan Cummins. Michael Martell is competing at this moment in time. Sean Maldonado. I saw Thomas Larson. All right, good work from Simonelli, of course. Got a front 7 over on 31 and 32. Actually, a couple. One on 31 and 32, one on 29 and 30. And potentially one here on 35 and 36. Got the 10 out, did Cummins. And so 3 front 7s around me. We're going from lane 3 to 36 now. Players will skip one pair to their right. So we will have 27 and 28 along with 29 and 30 coming up next. Players from those respective pairs. and some trouble. Not what you'd like to see to start, or at least at this point in the game for Corey Anderson, but opportunity to make a couple of nice split conversions take precedence here. Let's got a chance. Saw your note, John, and we'll be turning up some dials right now. You let me know if that works a little bit better for you, and anyone else for that matter. All right, Jonathan Cummins looking for 8 in a row here on 35 and 36. And he buried that one. Talk about having a good start. That could certainly work well. Always good to get the kinks out early, too, from a technical standpoint. If something goes awry early in a broadcast, this morning, for example, this afternoon, a chance to fix it, either during or in between. Nice shot there from Jeff Lyons. Oh, and a nice roll of the 2-8 there for Chris on 33 and 34. No, 10th frame over on 33 and 34, and a good opportunity for David Brown to make some things happen. He can get into 230s with a double. Jonathan Cummins will wait for David Brown on his left before Cummins steps up in the 9th frame. That's Brown on your left, who gets a nice break. And now Cummins on your right. Hook. Front 9. All right, Simonelli now putting in work. David Brown is going to be in the 220s. Chris has put up 4 in a row of his own. And he's going to be 200 even. Stephen Taylor now. His first shot in the 10th, a good one. Just want to get into the 250s. Taylor's going to be in the 240s. Simonelli's going to be in the 250s. David Brown next door did finish with 226. As you can see, Simonelli, 258. 245 for Stephen Taylor. Chris Jowers shot 200. Michael Brown got to 149. 161 there for Thomas Wynn.
Very speed sensitive to get the ball through the fingers. Little firm and the corners don't like to go out.
That's some nice little insight there. Not sure if you heard it from Ryan Simonelli. Very speed sensitive. He said regarding trying to get the ball to carry. Speed sensitive to try to get them corners, so you got to be watching out for that. Had a nice chat with Ryan prior to the start of the single shootout there. We go back to collegiate bowling. Oh, roll Messenger. 166 for Corey Anderson. Solid game, 213 for Jeff Lyons, and now the stage is set for Jonathan Cummins. A nice way to kick off the Bradley Open weekend. Oh, and some love on numero uno in the 10th frame, specifically the 7-pin. Front 10 for Jonathan Cummins, letter E. But they got that one in a little bit. We'll take it. And the front 11. Those other front 8s that I talked about, we had a 277 and a 279. So Cummins is already going to have the high game, and let's just be honest about it. If he's in brackets, well, that's the best possible start. On the lanes for Jonathan Cummins, and a 299. Little wrap 10. Nice game and a great way to start here, the Fairchild Singles Shootout here on Bullstream TV. Oh, that talking about getting the swing loose, right? I think that'll get it done. And just like that, game 1 is complete. There are still several pairs still ongoing and completing game 1. There's also several pairs with 4, and there's a few with 5. So the pace shouldn't be too different overall. There'll be a lot of strikes thrown. And we're off and running. Game 2 is on the way, good people. Appreciate you tuning in. Please like, please share. We've got the Fairchild Singles Shootout tonight, the Classic Double Shootout, and of course, the Bradley Open Tournament. $10,000 to the winner. Begins tomorrow morning, and Bullstream TV will be here all weekend long. Shout out to my main man and my guy, Craig Elliott, of course. So it's Craig's last event here last year, prior to handing over the reins, if you will. My first time here at the Bradley. I've been excited about it for a minute, and I look forward to seeing certainly what this weekend has in store. Jonathan Cummins has made it a solid opener to start. $2.99. I'd say that's going to put him in pretty good position to make the top 8. We'll see how it all plays out. Short break. Game 2 next here on Bullstream TV. Game 2 is underway here on Bullstream TV. New crop of players here, the Fairchild Singles Shootout. Brought to you by High Five Gear, sponsored by High Five Gear. In fact, if the winner of today's event is wearing a High Five Gear jersey, they will throw in some extra cash to the winner. So shout out to High Five Gear and, of course, Motive, proud sponsor of the Bradley Open event and weekend as well. My name is Emil Williams Jr. Appreciate you tuning in here this afternoon as we get this Bradley Open weekend started. On 33 and 34, we welcome Billy Vincent and Scott Tate, letters A and B respectively. Will Highslope, Courtney Burks, and Justin Turner, C, D, and E. Then on 35 and 36, Patrick Forbes and Cindy Fox are A and B. Wayne Jakes and John Freeman are C and D. Hope everyone is doing well so far here on this wonderful Friday afternoon. If you are at work, which I know some of you probably are, please don't get in trouble as you watch bowling and are supposed to be, of course, working at this point in time. Wayne Jakes started the day with 277. And again, he's on 35 and 36. He is letter C. You saw Jonathan Cummins shoot 299 to kick things off. Again, 3 games of qualifying. This is game 2 if you are just joining us. After the 3 games, the top 8 in total pinfall will advance to the bracket match play format. It'll be single game elimination until the finals, where the best 2 out of 3. So the player to win first to win 2 games will take home the Fairchild Single Shootout here in 2022. And is Will Highslope to your left. A shot there for Will. Will was very helpful also. Shout out to Will. I've got a nice roster. Appreciate the staff here. But some players elected to bowl under a different letter. So I go down and double check to make sure I'm not calling the wrong name, because no one likes that when they're on the live stream. Oh, good shot. Got the 10 out. Did John Freeman. And John so far off and running here, 4 out of the first 5. But Will was extremely helpful. Also told me how to properly pronounce his last name, which is also incredibly important, because it could be his slope, but it's high slope. There's Courtney Burks. Nice shot there, Courtney Burks. Sporting the Wolves Bowling Supply t-shirt. Shout out to Mike Wolf. Brett Shepard. I think Brett is bowling here this afternoon also. I'd love to keep pace on what Jonathan Cummins is doing, just because we, obviously saw him start with 299. But he made the turn, and he is down on the low end. Nearly trouble, and almost the opposite of trouble for Justin Turner. That was a near 7-10, but then turned into a possible messenger-seeking strike, but just a 10-pin there for Justin. Tom Doherty is competing here at the Fairchild Singles Shootout also. Names, players, folks you may be familiar with, and certainly forgive me from a local perspective, because I'm sure there's some local players that I just don't know by looking at the roster, but I'm sure I'll know them by the time the weekend is over. But names that have popped out, I saw A.J. Rice earlier. He is bowling. Thomas Larson is bowling. Reigning Masters champion. Get Sean Maldonado, Tom Doherty. Of course, Steve Novak, now local, certainly to Louisville. Michael Mirabel, Brett Shepard, David Stouffer. We've seen David on a Players' Championship show a couple weeks back. Made the top 5 out in the South Regional Finals in Tampa. Apparently Sean Rash is bowling, and I haven't seen him yet. Sean is here. Tom Hess, Kim Ballby, who won the Bradley Open a couple years back. Dean Perez, Brian Robinson. I've seen him a lot just over the course of my time. I know the name Tony Lambert. I've had a lot of conversations about Tony from speaking to good folks here in Louisville. Mentioned Michael Martell. And you saw Ryan Simonelli, or if you're just joining us, you may haven't. Ryan was on 35 and 36 to start in game 1. Come on, Carey. There it is. Mr. Freeman looking for 5 in a row. Look. Ask and you shall receive. Says John Freeman. Push. Oh. Nice shot from Cindy Fox. And a nice pickup. From Scott Tate. Cleaning up messes. Oh, hook a little. Wow. How about that? That's a huge double, too, especially after the start. That Wayne had, he began with 277. You know, in a 3-game situation, it's such a sprint. Obviously, good starts are always important. And game 2 can be tricky sometimes. John Freeman has got it working here in game 2. And folks, we are just getting started here. Streaming the single shootout, the Fairchild single shootout for the first time. Leads into the double shootout this evening, and of course into the Bradley. Open tournament proper tomorrow morning. Right lane's been a killer for Justin Turner, pardon me. Meanwhile, Cindy Fox still out there getting it done. Single shootout, payout-wise. Well, I'll tell you what, it was a guarantee of 1,000, but that number has jumped up an additional $500. $1,500 to the winner here this afternoon. Not that 1,000 certainly wasn't something to talk about, but 1,500 sounds great too. How about it, Mr. Jakes? Oh, wow. Talk about entry angle for Wayne Jakes. 1,000 for second place. Those who lose in the round of 4 will receive $550 each. Quarterfinalists will receive $330. And for those just outside of the top 8, 9th will receive $220. 10th will pay $190. 11th will pay $170. 12th will pay $150. 13th $130. 14th $120, and 15th $110. For a total of $6,010 here at the High 5 Gear Single Shootout. Tell you what, I think I didn't see the final number of entrants. I think it was at 70 or just above it. more entries, of course, you get, the higher the payout is. They're already guaranteeing 1,000. They got some more entries. The first place goes up. So talking about making a weekend out of something. There's definitely no guarantees when you get to the Bradley tomorrow, right? Oh, I don't know what kicked the 10 out there, but it was a wonderful for John Freeman. Now he's got a chance now in the 10th frame to get to 280. There is a lot of bowling going on this weekend, not just in Louisville, but across the country. Certainly, we've got some collegiate bowling. There are a few collegiate events that I know of. One in Dallas, Lady Texters Classic. That's over on Bowl TV. Shout out to my guy Aaron Smith, doing work over there. A shot there for Justin Turner. We'll see Scott Tate in a minute. We've got the True Amateur tournaments, the TAT, going on in Las Vegas at South Point. Always fun to kind of watch some videos from the TAT. Shout out to my guy Keenan Johnson, K-Smooth. Was in a last ball challenge situation last night for 5K. And then, of course, the Bradley here with 10 grand on the line to the winner on Sunday. We've got $1,500 for the winner here, the single shootout this afternoon. And a guaranteed $2,000 for tonight's winners in the classic double shootout. It's a good money weekend. I don't know where you are, minus the collegiate bowling, of course. But if you're somewhere else, it seems like a good opportunity to take a few dollars home. All right, you can see our pace, our pair with 4. The pace is a few frames faster than our pair with 5. And certainly Jonathan Freeman, who has done nothing but strike since the 3rd frame. Oh, give it a run. Patrick Forbes shoots 149. 168, by the way, for Wayne Jakes. I know he shot 277 in game 1. Big opportunity here for Jonathan Freeman. Read it. Just slap that 10 out ever so gently. All right, so we've got some folks that said they can't hear. All right. Appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. So what I've noticed here, I've got a new soundboard. So when you get new things, sometimes they play tricks on you a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. Oh, a 9-pin for a second. And something takes it out. Nicely done there for Jonathan Freeman, 280. Or John Freeman, I beg your pardon. appreciate everyone again for not only tuning in, but letting me know about some of the audio that we'll work through. As we have reached the 9th frame. Here on 33 and 34. That actually sounds much better in my own head or ears. But again, I trust the community. You guys will let me know. John. That is well said, John. Oh, man. I appreciate that. That's why I love microphones so much. I can rely on technology, of course, until it stops working or doesn't work in the manner of which it should. Speaking of working, Will Highslope has been putting in work. Early miscue in the first, but oh, come on. Wow. And some late love on the 8-pin for Highslope. When I originally came down, I didn't see what his game 1 score was. But when I was making sure or finding out who was who or confirming who was who letter-wise, I mentioned something about brackets. If you're, and I have what certainly would be a kind of a bracket type roster sheet with columns to write each respective game. So I didn't see what his game 1 was. So the way he sounded, it wasn't helpful for bracket purposes. Perhaps if he did move on in any, 250 would be a nice help here in game number 2. He'll need one more strike here to get into the 250s. And he'll get it. Meanwhile, to his left, Billy Vincent with a 3-bagger of his own. I like that scale, John. I'll take that. Lets me know where I'm at. I like that. Okay. Well, I'm going to work on it. Let's see how we can get to 9. Actually, I think I may have just figured it out. You guys let me know if 7.5 maybe gets you to 8.5 or 9 at this point. $255, by the way, for Will Highslope. And we will have A.J. Rice on 35 and 36. We'll have Mike Martell over on 33 and 34. This should be fun.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Hang in there.
226 for Billy Vincent. Bluegrass, he was also nice and immediately offered his help just to let me know who was bowling on the pair. I like nice people. So get to 220s there for Courtney and through the nose. So the big 250 game for High Slope. Again, 226 for Billy Vincent. Scott Tate's going to be in the 160s. 213 for Courtney Burks. I actually came across, I can't certainly call it a senior league. I have no idea what kind of league it was, but there were some older gentlemen competing last night here at Executive. And I got a chance to just have a couple of conversations. They saw me taping down the internet and, of course, had my cases out. I came back after their league was done to set up some equipment. Didn't notice that sound. Okay, appreciate it. Note taken. Justin Turner's strike will get him to 219. All right, we're on to game 3 just like that. Game 3 underway. AJ Rice, Kenny Lape, Bill Decker, Isaiah Winters. So hey, Michelle. You know, I never call you Michelle. I think it's actually weird when I say Michelle, so I'm not going to ever say that again. Shell. Appreciate that. I hope all is well. I saw you making the rounds, the U.S. Open. Emmanuel Gilliam, Paul Smith, Michael Martell, and Charles Leonhardt on 33 and 34. Bugman, this is not a qualifier. This is essentially the opening event of the Bradley Open weekend. It is the Fairchild Singles Shootout. So essentially there are 2 preceding events prior to the beginning of the Bradley Singles Shootout here this afternoon. Tonight will be the doubles shootout, and of course the Bradley officially gets underway in the morning. Mike, that was Billy Vincent on 33. He just shot 226. Just 3 games. Total pinfall, top 8 will advance to bracket match play. Single game elimination matches when we get to that point, which is coming up soon. And then the championship match will be a best 2 out of 3. Thank you, Pugman, for checking in and watching. I appreciate you. For those of you who are just joining us, my name is Emil Williams Jr. Bowlstream TV, that's the place to be this weekend if you cannot certainly be in Louisville. Big weekend of bowling, and it starts today. Single shootout, guaranteed 1,000, but that number officially now is going to be 1,500 for the winner, 1,000 to the runner-up. Double shootout tonight, and of course 10K to the Bradley Open champion. And Super Bowl weekend as well. So boy, there is a talk about a lot of things happening. I'd be curious where the allegiances lie on this side of the country here. As this viewer number goes up, it's shot there from Michael Martell. I encourage you, if you haven't already, please share, like, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. The Bowlstream TV event schedule is growing. Of course, after this weekend, I'll be heading to Wisconsin March 6th for the Wisconsin State High School Championships. And we've got a few other events that's not yet confirmed. But if all goes well, it could be a nice schedule for Bowlstream TV this season. So I appreciate the love early on. Oh, we got some legends joining. Okay. Oh, the chat's getting serious now. I appreciate the support. I really do. Those of you who've obviously followed me across now multiple platforms, which is a cool thing. I appreciate that. Hey, Chris, I appreciate you. Well, both Chris's. Chris Hester and Chris Pulliam. And Chris Hester, I will be, obviously, we'll be here all week, all weekend. And anytime you want to post a link, you post that link and share it. No, I'm just playing. I appreciate you, though. And if you're coming up, I'll be happy to offer you a seat next to me as well for a little bit, if your time allows. If you are just joining us, this is Game 3 of the Fairchild Singles Shootout here on Bowl Stream TV, sponsored by High Five Gear. Please support High Five Gear. Support all of the sponsors. There is Michael Martell. Michael put up a very interesting post, and talking about his bowling and being very open and honest about his most recent performances. And it takes a lot to do that, especially to share to such a public platform, obviously, that is social media. Oh, big shot there. So I'm expecting a very nice weekend here for Mike. So I'm practicing a little bit yesterday. All right, again, Emmanuel Gilliam, Paul Smith. In fact, Paul Smith is letter A on 33. Emmanuel Gilliam, letter B. And then 9 out of 10 strikes between letters C and D, Michael Martell and Charles Linhart, respectively. And over here on 35 and 36, A.J. Rice is letter A, followed by Kenny Lape. Isaiah Winters is letter C, followed by Bill Decker. The one thing that I cannot confirm right now, because game 3 here is going to be finished rather quickly, as opposed to some other lanes that I can see to our left here. So I'll just turn the camera over to provide some additional bowling during that time. But from the time all competition is complete here to the time we get started with the top 8, there'll be some minutes in between. So just a fair warning. Oh, and the first 8-pin I've seen so far the weekend, and well, I certainly hope it's the last. Good shot there for Isaiah. But some really good players bowling this single shootout. What I would believe would be a very good mix of professionals, high-level amateurs, and there's certainly some players that I don't know, but I bet you they're very well known locally. Like Emmanuel Gilliam, for example. Somebody actually told me a story, not a story about Emmanuel last night, but I was introducing myself to someone I met last night. and they thought I had said Emmanuel. And I said, no, Emil. And they went on to say that there's a very good bowler named Emmanuel that they often bowl with. And I guarantee that that's the Emmanuel they were referring to. Hey, Sue, appreciate you tuning in. I do not have standings. I don't believe they are posted. I think they are going to be posted after Game 3. I know one of the goals was to try to get scores out after each game, which I know sometimes can be difficult in the 3-game sprint. So as soon as I have some scores to report, I will let you know. I'm not going to stop the stream prior to the beginning of the finals. We keep it live. I'll probably need to change a camera or two at some point, and then I'll just throw up a thumbnail to make sure you don't see all of the moving and maneuvering and whatnot. Good shot there for Isaiah. And that's back-to-back really good shots. The 8-pin, of course, is the 8-pin. As we watch Michael Martell, only of Robert Morris University, trying to do his thing out on the PBA Tour. And looking pretty good here. Well, I'm guessing to make this top 8, I'm going to say, I feel like 660 to 680. I'm going to say 670, and that feels like it could be low, just watching some of the players I've watched on the high end. Oh, run it out, Bill. Good shot there. Southpaw's looking pretty good over on 33 and 34. For the double shootout, we'll move a camera, or the camera, or a camera. And then we'll be getting 35, 36, 37, and 38 for our main camera shots for the week, and then I'll have an adjacent camera, probably around 33, 34, like we have now, or similar to it, to get some other lanes. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, Sue, just from where I'm at, I'm directly behind 35 and 36. The tournament starts on lane 3, so obviously there's a long ways away for me to see what's happening, but you know, we started off today. Jonathan Cummins shot 299 here on 35 and 36, and just in game 1 there was at least one 279 and a 277 within a 6-pair radius, not including what else was going down on the low end. The run ended for my man Charles, who told me he was texting some folks, and he said he told them that they were going to he was going on the featured pair. And I said, he told me, he said, you can't be bowling bad when you get to the featured pair. I said, I like that attitude. Don't forget to support High Five Gear, sponsor here of the Fairchild Singles Shootout. And also, there we go. There's some carry for you, Bill. I would encourage you to support aneurysm research as well. This event named or renamed in memory of Mike Fairchild, former Bradley Open champion. Certainly a friend of many. So $10 from every entry into the event will be donated towards aneurysm research. Again, that's pretty cool. $10 from every entry for the Fairchild Singles Shootout, donated to aneurysm research. That's a mean 7-pin there. Mean 7-pin for A.J. Rice. Nice 3-bagger there for Isaiah's rebounded well from that 6-frame 8-pin. How do you guys fare in a 3-game qualifying type event like this? Do you guys prefer or like to bowl in the longer format type events where you can kind of get into a rhythm a little bit? Because when you only got 3 games, you got to come out. You got to do your thing. If you're a slow starter, 3 games may not be enough for you. Oh, make it. Come on. Oh, he made it. He didn't even see it. That's the second time we've actually seen that spare made. Here on Bowl Stream TV this morning. All right, here's Martell. Martell trying to get to 269. Leonard trying to get it to 265 potentially. Trip 6 there for A.J. Rice. Someone is on 290 pace. A few pairs to our left. Oh, kick it. Kick it, Charles. One thing I've always enjoyed about live streaming is the interaction between live streamer, broadcaster, and players. Some folks do really enjoy being on the live stream. Some don't, not intentionally per se. A.J. Rice went to get a different bowling ball. He'll try here on his fill. All right, 227 for Rice. Winters cannot carry the 7, but nice bounce back to get to 208. So it looks like the majority of the players on the low end are complete. Martell gets a very generous break. Bill just continues to have some carry struggles there. Kenny takes care of the spare. 192 is in his future with a strike. Martell will get into, we'll get to 257, excuse me, with a spare. Make it 256. That's a good question in the chat. That does sound like a business opportunity. All right, all done on 35 and 36. Wow. Paul Smith, 171. All right, 251 for Charles Linhart. And Emmanuel gets to 205. All right, let's turn the camera left for a minute and give you what we can. Austin, that's a great question, one I do not know the answer to, unfortunately. But I will not stop the stream. We'll kind of roll right into the top 8. I'm sure there will be an announcement, obviously, for who will advance to the top 8. If there is some scores to be had, I'll have those and run them off for you. All right, if you're just joining us, game 3 on our feature pairs completed. This is 31 and 32. This, along with 29 and 30, are in the 9th frame. And it looks like way down there, maybe 5 and 6 are still bowling as well. I'm going to attempt to go down and see what I can gander about scores without being in the way. And I will return shortly. Okay, good people. I didn't have any actual scores to see or take pictures of, but from talking to the staff, it does look like 760 actually might be the number or roundabout. So whoever said that, oh, it was Sue. Tom generally knows numbers, so he knows the deal. It's not his first time It could be around 760 is what I've been hearing. Looks like we might have a front nine attempt too. There was a front nine attempt. I've seen two front nines today, one 299, and this one is going to be 260 plus. Looks like one ball left. It should be relatively quickly, 266 by the way, relatively quickly once scores are all added and confirmed. Prior to the start of the finals. Here on Bowl Stream TV, the Fairchild Singles Shootout, sponsored by High Five Gear. Extra money added specifically for the winner if they are wearing a High Five Gear jersey. That individual would earn some additional money courtesy of High Five Gear. So at this point, good people, bowling is complete. Qualifying is complete, and now we wait for the final tallies. All right, so while we wait, for those of you obviously peeking in and seeing what's going down here at the Singles Shootout, perhaps what are you looking forward to this weekend? And it may not even involve, I certainly hope it does, but it may not involve bowling. But I'll be specific and ask, what are you looking for from the Bradley perspective from this weekend? Is there someone you're looking to watch? If you're in the building or will be in the building, is there someone you're looking to, again, come out, watch, check out? Maybe it's your first time, like me, first time being at the event. So I'm already looking forward to kind of seeing this grind. But watching past streams, courtesy of my guy, Craig Elliott, of course. Players always seem to kind of find a way somehow to get their balls to hook at some point during the day. Not going to say every day, not going to say every shot, because that wouldn't be true. Also seen where if you can just get 10 pins down, or something makeable, certainly, you're in a good spot. Dusty, that's a good question. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some I'm going to read some of the roster here for the Bradley Open in 1 second. All right, so while we wait, at this point, for those the players that I mentioned earlier who are bowling this week or bowling right now or just bowled qualifying, however you want to say that, certainly they're going to be bowling in the Bradley specifically. So I'm going to read all the names. I know you mentioned PBA players. Maybe I won't read them all because that list grew. Might be about 200 by the time we get to tomorrow. Just the names that I can see personally right here that I know, they're on tour, right? And some folks that I certainly would mention even though they're not on tour, like Dan Higgins, for example. Dan Higgins, let's see, Chad Roberts, who bowled very well at the U.S. Open and made match play. Let's see, who else here? Ryan Simonelli, Kimbolaby. I'm going to throw my guy Daniel Farish's name in there. He just bowled the U.S. Open. Brandon Novak had a very good week. Jody Westner is bowling. I haven't seen Jody in a while, and that'd be very nice to see her. Jalen Mosley is bowling. He's not on tour, but he's got tour game. Trevor Roberts is bowling. Gene Perez is here. AJ Rice not on tour, but tour game. Let's see who else. Sean Rash is bowling. Tom Doherty is bowling. Sean Maldonado is bowling. Kyle Troop, Jesper Svensson, Jacob Buttriff, Jerry Mars, Chris Sloan, Francois Lavoie, David Stilfer, Dom Barrett, Graham Faw, Nick Pate, Zeke Bate, Michael Martell, who we watched already today. We saw Ryan Simonelli in game 1. Joe Grondin, Wichita State shocker. Mitch Beasley, I don't know, he's not out a lot, but Mitch Beasley, of course, locally, Tony Lambert. Mike Wolf, my man Brian Valenta is bowling. Not on tour anymore, but has been there. Bailey Maverick, who recently made a show, of course, at the Players' Championship in the regional finals. Tom Hess, as we mentioned. Frank Snodgrass, who led the PTQ and had a very nice week also at the U.S. Open. I mentioned Thomas Larson. Sam Cooley is bowling. Brent Boho, Jimmy Cook, A.J. Chapman, Anthony Lavery Spar, Kevin Williams, Mirabelle, J.R. Raymond, Stu Williams, Chris Barnes, Matthew Zweig, and that is all I can tell from this particular moment. So, and I'm sure there's names that I just don't personally know who very well could be on tour. Having said all of that, I don't think I saw Matt's name. I could be wrong and just overlooked that on the fast read. I would hope Matt Ogle is bowling. I really enjoy watching him bowl. All right, folks, while we wait, If you have any immediate questions, that was a very good question there, Dusty, and I hope to see you at some point. Apologize for anyone who is having some level of difficulty hearing me for some strange reason. I got a new soundboard, and I tested it earlier this week. I actually did some stuff with the U.S. Open, but get a chance to test it out in real life, if you will. I was in a very controlled environment at my house during the U.S. Open, and now obviously on the road. So at this point, I'll keep messing with it, keep tweaking. You guys will tell me if it's better or worse. I can't go lower than 7.5. That I know. That's the scale that John Wilcock gave me, or Willick, excuse me. That's the scale that John provided. So I can't go less than that. Mike, I appreciate it. And you know what, Mike? And because this is my first time at the event and seeing it in person, I'm sure there's some names who are commonly or who would commonly bowl the event, and I just don't know them because I'm getting a chance to see it in person for the first time. But with a field like this, I mean, obviously with $10,000 on it, this reminds me a lot of the New Mexico Open. Very challenging condition, $10,000 to the winner, and a very good field. That field could certainly grow. Steve Mackey and his wife, Dana Miller Mackey, have done a wonderful job. Jeff Hemmer, Mike Miller, great work there out in Rio Rancho. But those two events have some similarities. Tough conditions, great fields for $10,000. All right, I'm going to make one move and move a camera so we can get set up for the first round of our top 8. Looks like we'll be able to get at least one match beginning at 35 and 36 here in our quarterfinals. Maybe two. I'll try to point a camera in the direction of 31 and 32. Then we'll have 33 and 34. And then, of course, our finals on 37 and 38. So if you are just joining us, we are awaiting the cut number. 3 games have been bowled. The cut is believed to be, the cut is the top 8, by the way. Not the cut to cash, the cut to advance to the bracket portion. The cut to cash today is actually 15th place. And that'll get you 110 back. Hang tight as I make this transition. Don't be alarmed when you see bowling lanes go off your screen. right, folks, if you're hanging around, and you should, I appreciate it. It looks like, from talking to Tom Hess, that is, it looks like 720. 720 is ish. 720-ish. I don't have an exact number. Might be the low to cash. Again, talking to Tom Hess. Tom left to 710. He said I think on the 11th shot that will ultimately, sounds like, cost him a few bucks, an opportunity to cash, while 750 plus will get you to the top 8. So at this moment, we're going to have 35 and 36. That will be the 2 versus 7 match. And then I'm going to get a little bit of 31 and 32 without a scoreboard for that one, but I'll give you the radio call on the score. Jacob Buttroff and Ryan Simonelli were hanging out on 31 and 32, so that could be a matchup. And here's our announcement.
First off, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to thank H5G for being the sponsor for the Singles Shootout. We had a total of 73 bowlers in the event. So, keeping with 1 in 5, we will pay the top 15 bowlers. So in your 15th place, Sean Maldonado, 726. In 14th, Michael Martell, 733. 13th, Adam Butts, 737. 12th, Brady Adler, 738. 11th, Tom Doherty, 743. 10th, John Freeman, 748. We had a tie, actually, for 9th and 10th. So John Freeman and Brian Robinson, we'll sort that in the tournament office as far as payouts. So anyway, you will get your payouts down near the tournament office for those guys. Your top 8 bowlers. Your number 1 overall seed, Jacob Buttroff, with 826, will be bowling number 8 seed, Courtney Burks, at 750 on lanes 23 and 24.
Jacob Buttroff was the number 1 seed. He shot 826.
Your 2 seed,
826.
815. Will bowl your 7 seed, Jamie Hampton, 753 on lanes 35 and 36. 3 seed, Ryan Simonelli, 806. Will bowl your 6 seed, Sean Rash, 763 on
It's a good
lanes
matchup.
31 and 32.
31 and 32, Simonelli, Rash.
Gene Perez, 774. We'll bowl your 5th seed, Brandon Flora, 768 on lanes 27 and 28.
All right, so we've got a top 8. I'll have to reconfirm some numbers and some names. I tried to write that down as fast as I possibly could, but it sounds like I know for a fact that Jacob Buttroff is going to be the top seed. Buttroff shot 826, and I believe he is going to face Courtney Burks, who shot 750.
Okay, top 8 bowlers advancing to the bracket format final will bowl a single game elimination match, with the winning bowler advancing to the next round.
So interesting note that these matches
where the final will be
are
a
single
best
game,
2 out of
single
3
game
with the first
elimination
bowler to win 2
until the
games
finals. The finals will be best 2 out of 3, and it's going to be on 37
Fairchild Singles Shootout
and
Champion.
38.
High seed can decide lanes. We will turn you guys on for 5 minutes of practice.
All right, 5 minutes of practice. Coming up next. 5 minutes of practice coming up next. Five minutes of practice coming up next. One game matches, 5 minutes of practice.
He's getting them turned on, guys. Just hold on, he's getting them on.
And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Bullstream TV. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Emil Williams Jr., and boy, do I have a great surprise for you. You know what it is. Jillian Martin, she's here to announce her college announcement. First of all, Jillian, how are you? I know you're excited today.
Okay, good people. Let me know if you can hear me on this channel or on this particular shot. Sean Rash and Ryan Simonelli will face off in a 3-6 match. Jonathan Cummins will face Jamie Hampton. We had 3 800 series. 3 800 series. Sorry about that. That was actually an accident. My apologies. I'll tell you, if for the first event today, my only issue was low volume, I can work with that. It's always the live streamers worry, of course. Things never go all the way perfect, especially the first time. All right, so let's get you to some bowling because we're going to start here with Jamie Hampton and Jonathan Cummins. Again, 1-game match. And that is Hampton's first shot for 7-10. And now back over to Rash and Simonelli. Again, single game. Elimination. Good opening shot there for Sean. No scoreboard there, but I'll give you the rundown on scores. My next scoreboard is awaiting 37 and 38. Simonelli, by the way, shot .806 to be the number 3 seed. .806 for Ryan Simonelli. Jacob Butcher for the top seed at .826. Jonathan Cummins, who we are watching right here. Cummins shot .299 in game 1, actually on this very same pair of lanes here in game 1 today. All right, strike and now 7-pin here for Simonelli. Now look out. Early open for Cummins. Simonelli made his spare, by the way, so strike 9 spare for Simonelli. Early advantage to Sean Rash. Two individuals know each other very well. Same staff for a very long time. And an early double for Sean. It's got to be a bit of a different, I won't call it an experience, because these are professionals. Like I'm talking about Ryan and Sean, for example. But they get a chance to kind of bowl on something, obviously a little softer from a lane condition perspective. Have a little more fun, perhaps. Good shot there for Cummins. Rash looking for 3 in a row. And a 2-pin. Spare made for Jonathan Cummins. The cut again was 750. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 750 on the nose. 750. That was the cut number to make the top 8. 750. Next shot for Simonelli. The low to cash was 15th at Sean Maldonado, who shot 726. 726 got you some dollars. 750 got you to match play. All right, back over to Simonelli. And Simonelli has reclaimed the advantage. If you're just joining us now, round of 8, strike, 9 spare double for Simonelli. Double, 9 spare, and strike here for Sean Rash. And an early 1 pin advantage here for Mr. Simonelli. This is Jamie Hampton. Hampton, who shot 753, including a 300 in game 2. Shout out to Jamie Hampton. In fact, let's see, Jacob Butcher shot 300. Jamie Hampton shot 300. Sean Maldonado shot 300. Rarely do you go, or I should say, me specifically, because I'm always in a working capacity, generally when I'm in a bowling center. But think about it, when you go to league, you're bowling the tournament, whatever it may be. When there's multiple 300s, you would typically hear some noise. I didn't hear anything today. Business as usual for those type of players in this type of field. Big shot there for Simonelli again. That's 3 in a row for Simonelli. Jonathan Cummins had a chance at 300. He shot 299. Shot there from Mr. Cummins. Pugman, by the way, indeed. Just off camera, Simonelli did strike. That's 4 in a row. Yes, I did that. Been working on that throughout this broadcast. All right, Sean strikes in the 6th, and after the Jonathan Cummins shot here in the 4th, they're bowling pretty quick. I'll take you back to that match. Oh, and that's a very good break. Seventh frame shot for Simonelli, pure. And looking like he is going to potentially advance. Still several frames left. Sean can max at 259. Rash has gone double, 9 spare strike, 9 spare double. Simonelli strike, 9 spare, 5 in a row. Can he open up the old 6-pack? He can. Rash just off camera with a 3-bagger. After the Jonathan Cummins shot, we'll move over to, or back to 31 and 32. We're going to figure this thing on out, good people. We got a long way to go. I might just go buy another. Return. Good shot there for Cummins. Here's Rash. High flush for 4 in a row. Well, he's going to make Simonelli earn it at the very least. Oh, appreciate that information there, Jason. There's Simonelli. Oh, and he wraps a 7. And there is life for one Sean Rash. Now back to Jonathan Cummins. That just slices the 7-10 out. That match a little slower moving than our 3-6. Someone's got the fronts down there. It might be Jacob Buttriff in our 1-8 match. Spare made from Simonelli. Well, there is the possibility of the old tie in that one. Simonelli can strike out for 259, as can Sean Rash. As Hampton goes high on the headpin. So 2 300s in the same week, it sounds like, for my man Jamie Hampton here. Doing work here at Executive. Again, Buttriff versus Burks, Cummins versus Hampton. And what looks to be a 3-pin. And now Sean will need to double. Single elimination until we get to the finals. One game. Boy, another good shot there for Hampton. Simonelli makes the spare. Hampton wraps a 10. But he is trailing after the Cummins 4-bagger. Keep it here with Simonelli. As Hampton makes his spare. At the end of the 4-5 match, Gene Perez versus Brandon Flora in the 4-5. All right, final shot for Simonelli. Yikes. 5 on the count, so. Cummins first. And out to Rash. Wow. Both of those carried, by the way. Cummins carried, which was going to be a stone 9. A messenger sent that out the way. And because of the unfortunate break on the fill, Sean's got some room to work with here count-wise on this shot. And that's going to send him on to the semifinals. So Rash defeats Simonelli. And no love on the messenger there in the 10 for Jonathan Cummins. Official score in the Simonelli Rash, 248-243. Austin, I'm going to post the standings that I have on the Bowl Stream TV Facebook page. Oh, good shot there for Jamie Hampton. And I'll type them here as well. I can't believe we're not at the point to where we can't add pictures in the chat at this point. This one not over, but Cummins can move on with a strike or a good count. And that's going to do it. He just needed 9. Best Jamie Hampton could do was get to 215. So we'll have a match on 33 and 34. It looks like Gene Perez and Brandon Flora were locked in a battle. Again, big thanks to High Five Gear, proud sponsor of the Fairchild Singles Shootout. Let's see, Courtney and Jacob were the first match on the far side. It's hard to tell who won. Well, I think Courtney is putting his street shoes on, so I believe Buttroff has advanced. And officially, nice job by Jamie Hampton, but Jonathan Cummins will move on. So I believe it's going to be Cummins versus Rash. I believe Gene Perez is going to take on Jacob Buttroff in the battle of lefties. All right, I'm going to make a quick change. By the way, that update is up on the Bowl TV Facebook page.
Advancing is your number 1 seed, Jacob Buttroff, and your number 4 seed, Gene Perez, will be bowling on 20.
All right, make a quick change, and we'll have 33 and 34 for you here.
Sean Rash, number 2 seed, Jonathan Cummins, bowling on 33 and 34. Again, bowlers, you will get 2 balls. You will get 2 balls of practice on each lane for this.
All right, we've got the 2 versus 6 match. Jonathan Cummins, the number 2 seed, rolls a nice little, well, not rolls a nice, gets a kick of the 2 versus Sean Rash. Battle of lefties. Jacob Butcher, the top seed, versus 4th seed Ian Perez. All right, we should be good to go. Wait a minute. Hey, I think I figured something out. Oh, Jonathan Cummins coming through. Coming through. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Fairchild Singles Shootout. And some brief background info if you're unfamiliar. This event renamed in honor of Mike Fairchild. Good shot there for Rash, and we're all even after a couple. Mike was a former Bradley Open champion. Dear friend of tournament director Jason Uchwald, and of course many others associated with the Bradley Open, both past and present. $10 from every entry this week, or I should say in this tournament. I believe there were 73 bowlers total. $10 from every entry into this event today, donated towards the aneurysm research. Again, aneurysm research. Sounds like a very good cause to support. My stepmom actually experienced an aneurysm way back when, but so I've seen firsthand what an aneurysm can do. So certainly on your own, if you're looking for something to support, aneurysm research is a very good one. Also, thank you to High Five Gear. All right, both players perfect in this situation. And that perfection now ends. The 10 pin from Sean. You know, sometimes you figure something out, man. I would tell you what I figured out, but you'd laugh. Which would bring me to another story. Man, I got a lot of stories. This will be a fun day. So I'm glad we got that figured out. Meanwhile, Sean with 4 out of 5, but now trailing Jonathan Cummins here. Cummins, the number 2 seed. That one looked a little bit direct. That leaves a bit of a weak dime. In the our other semifinal, Jacob Buttriff now with the front 6. Gene Perez has gone 5-bagger, 9 spare, and he just left what looks to be an 8-pin. All right, Cummins now left lane, and back-to-back dimes. 1 flat, 1 wrap. Now might be in a situation where ball reaction could potentially be a little suspect here, which is obviously never what you want to see, especially at this point. And Rash didn't like it, but got some help. Having a little fun, talking with the fans here. I apologize if you're talking to me in the chat. I'm typing something out real quick. I'll be back with you in 1 second. Oh, hook a little. Oh, roll it. Roll it. No. Jacob Buttriff, by the way, now has the front 9. All right, in case anyone asks you, you can also obviously access us on YouTube. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Buttriff with the front 9. Perez can shoot 268, but now it's not going to matter. Buttriff with the first one in the 10th, and the number 1 seed is going to be in the finals, where it will be a best 2 out of 3. He's either going to face Jonathan Cummins or Sean Rash. We'll know momentarily. But you can also visit us at bowlstreamtv.com. And, of course, Sarah, if you're watching, everyone else watching for that matter, thanks for that inadvertent tip. Like, oh, you forgot to update that. Planning to do some a little bit of updates to the website in the coming months as the what looks to be the schedule growing, as Jacob Buttriff 300. That's 300 number 2, by the way, for Jacob Buttriff today. So I fixed the sound issue, or my audio. The quality was great, which is always a plus, and I appreciate John for saying such wonderful things. But you just needed for it to be a little louder. I was able to fix that. That is a win. I've updated my website. That's a win. And that's a winning shot right there for Jonathan Cummins. I'll go ahead and tell you guys the story while I have a few frames. So I finally looked at the volume meter in the software that I use. And of course, you can toggle it left and right, scroll to lower the output of the volume. Good shot there for Rash in the 8th. And now that's a 1-pin advantage for Sean. And I noticed it was essentially capped, right? You can cap it whenever you move it. I'm like, oh, snap, that's probably the issue. Of course. The last event I did, for the first time, I didn't have to provide any commentary, so I was really just producing. And so the audio was capped at a particular level. Wow, good shot. Hey, Randy, appreciate you tuning in. I don't know too much about Mr. Fairchild, but he sounds like an excellent individual. And the first real trouble there for Cummins, but your comment there. Whoa, somebody hit that camera. Yikes. See how they do me, man? You try to give folks a good show, and they do that. All right, 2:23. That'll do it. The Open in the 10th. Cummins had his chance. And now 6 pins and 2 shots for Sean. Of course, you know, you would anticipate Sean amongst a good group of peers and bowlers that there would be a few Razzie type comments, right? Just based on Sean's most recent news. But as they say in the business, it's all jokes and fun. It's an interesting situation there. I like Jonathan Cummins essentially talking to Sean, as you can see, kind of discussing, I think, what happened on Cummins' final shot, or excuse me, shot in the 10th frame. That's pretty cool. All right, Jacob Butcher, the #1 seed, is going to take on Sean Rash. That's going to be on 37 and 38. Coming up next, I'm going to get that set up for you, and we'll be back in a moment here on Bowlstream TV.
Sean Rash, you guys will be bowling on 37 and 38. This is a fresh pair, so you will get 5 minutes of practice. Remember, this final match will be a best 2 out of 3. being crowned the 2022 Fairchild Singles Shootout Champion. Good luck and good bowling.
What's he bowling me? 540? Yeah, because they were fresh. Yeah, that's what it was. He bowled 79 in the first two.
Yeah, and the one that's sad.
Hold on, what have you bowled? I want to put this on Facebook real quick. 279,
247,
300,
279, 300.
279. That's 5 for Jacob. So you throw 5 games. You got more strikes than I did in 3 games. In 2 games. Actually, I bowled 5 games. You struck more in 2 games than I did.
So now what's 2 out of 3?
Hey man, you want to chop?
Best 2 out of 3.
Best ball, 1 shot. Let's get out of here. We can take a nap.
I like a good joke. Golden Boy, man, he's good at milking every dollar out of every day. There's no one better.
There's a reason why. I got 3 kids.
How about we bet a drink? There we go.
Okay. I don't drink.
Barely, Dave.
You gonna vote?
No, I won't be.
All right, Jason, here's the deal. Uh-oh. Here's the deal. Uh-oh. Oh, I want to hear this deal real quick.
If he beats you, you got to go home and hold steak. That's how I did it. I did it.
What is that?
You got to go home and hold steak. We didn't talk about the steak though.
My steak's across the street. Hell, walking. Especially with the weather coming.
Right.
Hey, can we get 25 minutes of practice? Change the lane. A little bit. Yeah, 2 balls on each lane, Mike.
You like your chances here?
Who are you talking to? Him?
You.
No. But yes,
Like-
I'm still here, so yeah, you gotta like your
Right.
chances. But he just bowled 879
He
for the
bowled-
last 3.
Yeah. Yep, pretty good. The guy just shot 268.
I don't know what we're doing, to be honest. Couldn't tell you.
I think he
Hey,
said,
balls me.
I think they're bowling 2 out of 3 matches. I think you just hit the. Hey, try hitting the check mark. It'll probably work. I think they're bowling best 2 out of 3. Is it pinfall or just 2 out of 3? I think it's best 2 out of 3. The difference is I move it front to back, not left to right.
5 minutes. Do you need to set up still? You good?
No, you're good. All right, so my man right here is not. He's not hardly missed. Good luck. He's not missed 6 games.
All right, good people of Earth. Championship match, best 2 out of 3. I believe we're now cooking with oil. All right, so I've got to recoup on the line for Jacob Buttroff here. So it's something to the likes of, in some order, 279, 247, 300, 279, in some order. And we know he just shot 300, but it sounds like he shot something like 879 for his last 3 games, something like that. What was it, Jake? All right, they're ready. Sean is going first. Take up the higher seed. Choice of start and lane. Sean's asking about chopping. The winner does get 1,500. Second place gets 1,000. The runners-up got 550 apiece, by the way. All right, here's Buttroff. This is a fresh pair, too, by the way. Important note. Will that come in handy? Perhaps. Buttroff shot 279 on the fresh. Sean Rash shot 238 on the fresh. Game 2, Buttroff shot 247. Rash shot 268. First to 2. Best out of 3. Live from Executive Bowl, or excuse me, Executive Strike and Spare. I beg your pardon. Bowl-Stream TV. The Bradley Open. Fairchild Singles Shootout. Well, this not the start I think that everyone was assuming, but it is fresh. Especially after you've just bowled, you know, a couple more games on something that has been bowled on. Nice little crowd here behind us, too. Doubles, by the way, the double shootout will begin around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Check in at 6. Oh, wow. Hashtag Team No 8-pin there. That was a really good shot. It's interesting, like the mood has changed a little bit. And it could be because of who the players are involved, which I actually think it has nothing to do with that. But perhaps it's not a sprint now. It still is, but in comparison to a single game where you've got to win 2 games, it feels just slightly different. All right, Butcher kicks to 7. Oh, Dusty Hill. Appreciate the love. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to Bowl Stream TV. Turn your notifications on. Add events to the schedule. If you know an event, or perhaps you have an event, Double Dare for Buttriff, you've been considering live streaming, thought about it, thought it would be a great addition to your event, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Turn his back on that one, Sean. It's a really good question. I'm going to ask him when he's nearby. I believe it is the, or not I believe, from the mouth of Jacob Buttriff, a Paragon. I'm pretty sure Sean is throwing a Phase 4. It is not a ball that starts with a U and ends with an E. Well, that one was pretty good, wasn't it? Again, the first to win 2. Now it's best 2 out of 3. And not a 1-game sprint. And a 10-pin there for Buttriff. For Jacob recently, a few struggles. Nice shot for Sean. Rash, the runner-up in the Players' Championship. Well, just like that. Sean with the Phase 4, now with 4 in a row. Buttriff trying to turn the corner here. Get back to his striking ways, and he does on the right lane. You know, Shell is such an interesting topic. But in reference to Jacob, Obviously, people know him to throw urethane often. And so I'm just here to tell you that he's not right now. And he's still being Jacob Buttriff. But if you like Paragons in Phase 4s, well, you got yourself an opportunity. They're each individual player, respectively, making their brands look very good. All right, 5 in a row for Sean Rash. Jokingly, of course, he came into this thing based on, obviously, Jacob just shot 300 and 79, etc. But he is firmly in this one, obviously, here in the early going in game 1. Important to note also, this is not a total pins situation. So a win is a win in this scenario. It's not a situation where, you know, Jacob can still get to 257. Obviously, he's trying to do that to keep the pressure here on Sean. But whoever loses this game 1, it's just a loss. It's not a situation where you try to still get as many pins as you can because it's total pins. So if there was a scenario where, you know, this one was a blowout, it'd be a situation where you'd be out there trying different bowling balls to see what look you may have. And that doesn't help. First time streaming the Fairchild Singles Shootout, again sponsored by High Five Gear. Support the sponsors. Plenty this week. High Five Gear specifically sponsor for the Fairchild Singles Shootout. 1,500 for first, 1,000 for second. Jonathan Cummins and Gene Perez each banked $550. All quarterfinalists who lost their first match received $330. Load of cash today was $723. That was Sean Maldonado. He took on $110. Rash looking to finish out strong. And of course, a 9-pin there. Buttriff, who high flush 8. If he gets that hit there, obviously this could be a different ball game. This is a modified house shot. So this is not the, let me make this very clear. This is not the Bradley Open tournament shot. So if you're going to watch the Bradley Open tomorrow, which I certainly hope you do, you will see an immediate difference come tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Modified house for the single shootout, modified house for the double shootout. And then the Bradley Open shot for the Bradley Open tournament. 248, 236. Rash gets game 1. The first to 2. Dusty, yeah, Jonathan Cummins had a very nice day, including his 299 to open up things and qualifying on 35 and 36. One errant shot, unfortunately, in the 10th frame. Cost him a chance to advance to the title match here, or the championship match. Well, I just want to let the good folks know, maybe there may be some folks watching for the first time on Bowlstream TV who have never seen the Bradley Open. You can go back through the archives. Of course, Craig Ellie has done a wonderful job at this event in the past. So you can get a kind of a an idea of what you would expect tomorrow. But, yeah, modified house today, Bradley Open tomorrow, polar opposites of one another. Sean just doing his thing. Shout out to the Rash family. Wife Sarah and their 3 daughters. Come on. Man. It's fun to see Jacob kind of wheel a lane a little bit. Dusty Jonathan lost to Sean in the semifinals. It was 238-223. Again, with the unfortunate Cummins split in the 10th frame. Sean needed the first one to lock it up. Or, yeah. I mentioned earlier, this one looks like this event has some similarities to the New Mexico Open. Great fields, very difficult lane pattern, both with $10,000 top prizes. Those are events that we, and I say we as a collective, as an industry, have to support. And an early 3-bagger for Sean. Obviously, professional tours, of course, with larger prize checks, prize funds, etc. But so when you get an opportunity to bowl an event where, of course, you may compete against some professionals, like in this one, and that's kind of part of it. But you get a chance to compete for $10K on something demanding. I don't care what the shot is right now. It's fun to watch these two individuals put the ball in the 1-2 or the 1-3 and watch the pins fall. That never gets, or it never is not fun, in my opinion. Ball change for Jacob. And right now, it's resulting in, although a different ball reaction, certainly. That one having a little extra on the back. It results in a 6-pin. And Sean is kind of cruising right now. Double shootout tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. Be a very similar situation as far as the format. Tonight will be, again, 3 games. Bookend strikes frames 1 and 5 now for Buttriff. Again, 3 games tonight. Each bowler on the squad, 3 games. Total pinfall. Teams will advance to the top 8. Again, same format even down to the bracket portion. Single elimination until you get to the championship. Make that 5 in a row for Rash. Oh, excuse me, I beg your pardon. On the bracket final, top 8 doubles teams will bowl best 2 out of 3 Baker style. So Baker, when you get to match play tonight, best 2 out of 3. all the way through to the championship. And the run comes to an end here for Sean. Well, Jacob's got his work cut out for him here. Right now, 257 max score for Buttriff. All right, Buttriff went back to what it looks like the Paragon on that right lane. He made the ball change in the 4th. I didn't see what he threw in the 5th, but he went back to what he was throwing, I believe, now just in the 6th frame. If you actually wanted to bowl the Bradley tomorrow, you still can. Oh, wow. You saw the reaction there from Buttriff. He probably hasn't left anything close to that all day long. He shot 826 to lead qualifying, was the top seed. Just shot 300 in his semifinal match against Ian Perez and nearly made that. I've seen that spare left 3 times. I've seen it converted twice today. Oh, good Lord. Boy, I hope executive won't be hurting my feelings like that this weekend. Hashtag team no 8-pin. And it's all rudimentary at this point. Sean Rash. Just frames away. Crazier things have happened, obviously, in bowling. We all know that. So until it's mathematically over, but well, I think 37. That ball got, once it got past or like left of 13-ish, it just kind of kept going. Oh, Jacob's going to be just fine. Again, a good opportunity to get the swing loose. Probably for him as well to see his ball strike a little bit. Although I know there was some striking recently at the first event at the Storm Cup. Dave Smalls and Jackson. In fact, Jesper, the champion there at the most recent PBA event, is scheduled to compete here at the Bradley. I think he's bowling tonight, as a matter of fact. With Kyle Troop. I got some questions for Kyle, too. I saw a Humpty video. I need some answers. And there it is. Sean Rash, the 2022 Fairchild Singles Shootout Champion. presented by High Five Gear. 246 to 183.
All right, bowlers. Before we hand out our trophies, we want to thank our sponsor again, H5G, for helping put on this tournament. Without them, we couldn't do it, so big thank you to them. With this year's tournament, we had a total of 73 entries, and $10 from every entry went toward aneurysm research. So we are proud to say that this year we're donating $730 towards aneurysm research. So that's thanks to all of you bowlers. We really appreciate you coming out and participating.
Donations regarding the aneurysm research.
Now, on to the presentation. Finishing in second place in your runner-up is Jacob Buttriff.
Jacob Buttriff. And Sean Rash, of course, your champion.
And your
2 games to nil. 2 games to nil, your final tally.
champion, Sean Rash.
Hey, Loon House, I appreciate you thinking I'm Mike Flanagan, but I am not. I am Emil Williams Jr., and you are watching Bowl Stream TV. But I like Mike Flanagan. That's my guy.
Correct.
And I appreciate you joining me here today. Please join me tonight and for the rest of the weekend. I'll be right here live from Executive Strike and Spare in Louisville, Kentucky. All right, 2 games to nil, folks, and that'll do it for the Fairchild Singles Shootout. Sean Rash defeats Jacob Buttriff in the championship match. Congrats to all of today's cashers. And today's finalists, of course, our quarterfinalists, semifinalists, as well as our champion and certainly runner-up, Sean Rash and Jacob Buttriff, respectively. Again, our semifinalists earned $550 today each. Our quarterfinalists earned $330 apiece. Yeah, no, Chris, hey, as long as we're watching bowling and supporting it, those things happen. Nonetheless, I will see you all tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for the Classic Double Shootout. We'll be right here behind lanes 35, 36, 37, and 38. Mike will get a kick out of this. Perhaps I need to meet Loom House now. That might be the best way to know that I am not Mike Flanagan. 35 through 38 tonight, and a little bit of 33, 34, 31, 32 as well. We got some dynamite doubles teams tonight. It's all good. Loom House, hey man, I'm here for you. But Emil Williams Jr., by the way, if you need it. Google, whatever you need to do. All right, folks, I'll see you all tonight. Enjoy the break. Come back and watch some bowling tonight. We'll get prepared, obviously, for the Bradley Open in the morning. Big thanks to Jason Utchwall, of course, tournament director here, and his entire staff, Doug and Jason, the additional Jason. That is for all of their work. Everyone here at Executive Strike and Spare. And all of you, the great, wonderful fans out there bowling and watching. I will see you this evening. Until then, be well, stay safe. This has been a presentation of the Fairchild Singles Shootout. You watched it live. You watched it only on Bowl Stream TV.